Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Travel Talk series here on the Trip101 YouTube channel. I'm Bianca, a content executive from Trip101. And this is the series where we talk to local tour guides so that we can get more in depth and useful information about various places all across the world. So today we're talking to Eugene, a tour guide from Poland, and he has almost 10 years of experience and offers tours in Warsaw, Poland. Yeah. Hi, Eugene.
Hi everyone. As Bianca said, my name is Eugene, and I've been guiding for almost 10 years in Poland, in Krakow, Warsaw, other places. My main job is event manager, and tour guiding is more like my hobby, my passion. And yeah, I like to meet people from different countries and to show them how Poland is beautiful and how it's special.
Yeah, that's great. So, is there a particular reason why you chose to offer tours in Warsaw?
Mostly I operate Krakow and Warsaw because I live actually in Krakow
Mm.
and Warsaw from time to time. And in my opinion, Krakow and Warsaw, they're like a history of Europe in a nutshell because you can learn about medieval history, about World War II, about yeah, you can find the different types of architecture, so many nice museums. So that's why I like to guide in Krakow, in Warsaw, in such kind of cities.
Okay, that's great to know that there's so many things to look forward to when travelers visit Poland and Warsaw in particular. So, maybe we can start with how travelers can get to the city and how they can get around. So, how far away would you say that the city center is from the airport?
So because as I said, I live in Krakow and most of my tours today in Krakow and also Warsaw. So my expertise mostly it's about Krakow.
Yeah.
Warsaw, it's more like about the history, about things like that. And Krakow, it's about everything.
Okay.
So if it comes to getting from airport to Krakow city center, it takes only 20 minutes. And it's pretty easy when you get out from your plane, right? In the airport, there's train station. You take a train and it goes like every 20 minutes. And in no time, you're in the city center of Krakow. So it's pretty comfortable.
Okay. So, do you recommend using the train to get from the airport to around the city?
A train or Uber, Uber compared to other countries is pretty cheap and actually you feel like a king using the Uber. Sometimes it's three times cheaper than in the neighboring countries.
Yeah.
So train or Uber, they're the best options.
Okay. Around how much is the Uber fare usually?
It's around 10 euros.
Okay, yeah. Is that cheaper or more expensive compared to the train?
Hmm. A little bit more expensive, but the price almost the same.
Okay, yeah. And are there any other ride sharing apps or it's just Uber that you recommend for going around?
Also, Bolt, there
Mhm.
is another transporting company. Yeah, Uber, Bolt, train, these are the most comfortable options to get from airport to the city center of Krakow.
Okay, sure. So once you're at the airport and before you go to the city center of Krakow, are there any good places to visit nearby that tourists might be interested in?
Nearby airport,
Yeah, near airport or Krakow in general.
near airport, not much actually. But on your way to Krakow, you can visit some monasteries. You can go to a small national park, and this is it because the distance between airport and Krakow is so small, so
Yeah.
not much to see, but still some few monasteries and small national park.
Okay. Could you tell me the name of the monastery or the national park, just in case any viewers are interested in visiting?
Yeah, monasteries called Kamidule or Ortynia. They are not far from each other, and national park is more like in Poland. We have like around two or three different levels of national park. There is national park where you have certain route and you have to walk. Another like less strict where you can some activities, do some fireplace, etc. And another one is more like under protection of the state. And so this is the park I'm talking about, and the name of it is Las Volsky.
Okay. That's great. And once you're in the city center itself, what do you think is the most affordable way for travelers to get around the city?
Uh, Public transportation. In my opinion, Krakow has one of the best public in Europe, maybe even in the world.
Mhm.
It's very accurate. You can get to any part of Krakow for 24/7, even at night. And it's very convenient, and trams, most of them are new.
Mhm.
So public transportation. But frankly speaking, if you come to Krakow to visit these touristic spots, all of them are nearby. And for example, Old Town and the medieval part is walking distance. From Old Town to Jewish Quarter, it's only 5 minutes walk. And sometimes, some tourists order a tour with a private vehicle, to go like through Old Town, Jewish Quarter, but it's pointless. Everything is next to each other. Walking distance, you just walk and admire. So public transportation, you need only if your accommodation is outside Old Town and Jewish Quarter, or you go to some museums, which are also outside of tourist area. And this is it. For the rest, you just stay in Old Town, and it's pedestrian area. You just walk and next to each other. So in my opinion, Krakow is not about, going from one part of the city to another one. No, everything is basically concentrated in the city center, and it's walking distance.
Okay, that's great. And would you say that it's a walkable city? Is it pleasant to walk around?
Yes, yes. And usually it takes around 40 minutes to go through the whole old town. If you go just all the way straight in a Jewish quarter, you can just walk around for half an hour, and just like easy walking. And yeah, so most people who come to Krakow, they don't even take any public transportation. They just walking around unless that they go somewhere, far of the city center, which happens not so often.
Okay, yeah. And that's great to know though that it's a walkable city. I'm from Manila in the Philippines, which is the opposite over here. So it's good to know that if I were to visit there, I could just walk around.
I see.
Yeah. Also, for public transportation, is that mostly buses or trains, or are there any other options?
Yes, and actually everything, and buses and trains and trams, everything. So there are plenty of options. Yeah.
Okay. And for those public transportation options, are there any travel passes or cards that travelers can buy just to make it more affordable?
Yes, there is an option to buy like public transportation travel pass, and it costs 120 zloty, which is around 35, and it's only for 2 days.
Mhm.
And in my opinion, it's pointless
Mhm.
because just to take one ride in a tram costs you only $1, around €1. So basically, it means that if you buy travel pass for 2 days, you have to make like more than 30 trips. It's pointless.
Yeah.
So if I was a tourist, I would not, think about buying some travel pass. If I need a tram to go somewhere, I just pay €1, take a tram, and in 15 minutes I'm like in museum or somewhere else. And this is it. So it will save for people's money.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a really good tip. I think to save money while traveling in Krakow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what about for those travelers who prefer to rent private cars on their own? Are there any rental companies that they can go to?
Yes, plenty for them, like a Euro car, six, what else, Go car. So actually, it's like in every big touristic city, there are a lot of these international companies, and there is no problem to rent the car. And of course, it's easier to rent it directly in the airport.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And are there any international driving licenses that travelers should avail of before they can rent the car?
No, there is just one condition that the driving license has to be also like in Latin, using Latin letters and English. So if it's possible to see that this is driving license belongs to you according to passport, so it's no problem. There is no need to have some international driving license. No, just one requirement that it has to be at least part of it in English to be able to identify the driving license.
Okay. Well, that's really good to know that it's pretty easy to rent a car there if you don't want to avail of public transportation. Another thing I'd really want to talk about is the food. I think that's something that excites a lot of international travelers. Yeah, so could you tell me what the best local food there are?
Mhm. In my opinion, Poland has one of the best food to offer. I mean, Polish cuisine is so diverse and so yummy. And if I was you, I would try żurek.
Mm.
Żurek, it's a soup which takes around 5 days to make
Oh, okay.
uh, be- because it's fermented. You mix rice flour with water, with salt, different spices, and then you leave it for 5 days to ferment. And when
Mhm.
it's fermented, looks like alive. There is something inside, but just fermentation. You mix it with potatoes, eggs, mushrooms, sausages, boil it, and then you have this soup. And in many places, it's served like in a bread, like a bread,
Okay.
and it's delicious. Apart of it, most of people know Poland as the country of pierogies or dumplings. And in Poland, you can find 100 types of dumplings. It depends on feeling. And not many people know that in summer, you can also eat dumplings with some berries, like strawberries, also cherries. So not only with meat or potatoes, but also sweet dumplings. And especially in summer when there is a season in Poland, agricultural country, it's like a must try. So first of all, żurek, this rice flour fermented soup, then pierogi, dumplings, and also ostipek. Ostipek is a cheese brought from beautiful Tatra mountains,
Mhm.
and you can try it in like in a grilled way with cranberry sauce. So it's also very special, and this cheese made of sheep's milk.
Mhm.
So many people, when they see it, they think, is it banana bread or is it what is it? But this is cheese, very salty, but very yummy.
Yeah, it sounds really delicious. Do you have a favorite among those dishes?
Yes, I think it's żurek. Żurek, this rice flour soup, and I like it especially in the bread bowl. It's tasty, very tasty.
Yeah, I like that it comes in a bread bowl. Sounds like it's an experience, not just a meal.
Yes, and you can eat this bread bowl as well. You can
Mhm.
scrap the sides, and it makes it even more special.
Yeah. Also, do you recommend any particular food markets or restaurants where travelers can find the dishes?
Yes, if it comes to food market, there is right next to the city center, the market called Stary Kleparz. Yeah, I know it's in Polish, but it's like in the northern part of the old town. And if you just write market near old town, you'll find it in Google easily. And yeah, it's like one of few local market left where people come there every single day except Sunday, because in Poland on Sundays shops are closed and markets as well. The
Mhm.
people come almost every day at 5 or 6 a.m. and bring food they make. They make from their own gardens, some fields, homes, etc. So it's like a homemade food. And so they can buy some fresh fruits, vegetables, some homemade sweets, and other things. So highly recommend you. And regarding restaurants, so I recommend the restaurant called Morskie Oko, and it's a typical traditional, like the traditional Polish restaurant with only Polish cuisine,
Mhm.
and it's right in the city center, but out of this touristic area, with overpriced souvenirs and things. Now, this restaurant slightly outside of the main square. It's
Mhm.
pretty difficult to find it if you don't know. But when you go there, prices are very affordable and food is delicious.
Okay, that's a good thing. I hope anyone watching can go there and try the food. Yeah, get a taste of what the local food is like.
Yeah, when you come to Krakow, this place, you will like it for sure.
Yeah. So for restaurants like that are near the city center or that are fairly popular, would you recommend that travelers book a table in advance?
There is also a good place called Mute Imalina or Honey, and it's a pretty small restaurant. It's a bit higher class than that restaurant I've just mentioned. but it's very cozy in old fashion style and with typical Polish food, but in a modern way. So this is really good place. But if you want like a high quality restaurant, I don't know, maybe you have some special occasion, some anniversary or birthday, I recommend you a place called Tina.
Okay.
Fiorentina. It has nothing to do with Italian city. No, it's just the name, and they can find like Michelin star level restaurant. Not Michelin star, but the service is amazing. And I believe that in no time it will get Michelin star for sure.
Well, that's great. Is it a busy restaurant? Should travelers make a reservation before they arrive?
It's better to make a reservation.
Okay.
It's not so busy. No, it has like it's very spacious restaurant, and the tables they're not like next to each other. Where no space, no
Mhm.
space to. No, it's like a spacious restaurant, and the amount of tables not so big, so it's better to make a reservation in advance.
Okay. And how do people usually make reservations in any restaurant in the city? Should they, is there a special booking service or they just have to call the restaurant?
Mm, Depends. By far, there is no some like one reservation system for all the restaurants or one way to do it. Some of them accept only calls. Some of them have like a Google Forms or Google reservation, and the rest of them have their booking system. So there is no like one such an answer. It depends.
Okay, sure. Is it easy to find vegan, vegetarian, or maybe even gluten-free options in the city?
Actually, and these days, day by day, and there are like more and more restaurants which offer vegetarian, vegan, gluten-free, and even lactose-free food. So yeah, I think it won't be a problem. And in many of them have like a menu where you can see that this dish like a gluten-free, vegan, etc. So yeah, I believe Krakow doesn't have any problem with such kind of places, so it will be pretty easy to find it.
Okay. And what about places that are pet-friendly or kid-friendly? Are those typical in Krakow?
Mm, I would say that almost every restaurant has a menu for kids,
Oh.
special kids menu, like a smaller portions and cheaper price. But not all of them have like children's playground.
Mhm.
No, only few. And frankly speaking, I don't have kids by now, and not often I have groups with kids. So I don't know like some certain place. Uh, so I don't have recommendation for families with kids in this case. But as I said, almost every restaurant has a kids menu. And if it comes to pets, I would say 90% of restaurants does not accept pets unless they have smaller size. But the restaurants have, for example, outdoor tables. Yes, in this case, they can accept it, but inside, no.
Mhm. Okay, that's a great thing to know for travelers with pets, just in case they'd actually have to leave their pet behind.
Yeah, and one more thing, if it comes to pets, it applies not only to restaurant, but also to, for example, castle. There are situations when some of my travelers came with pets and just small dogs, and they were not let they were not let to enter the Wawel Castle in Krakow because of rules. So uh, i- maybe it's not the best idea to travel with pets, or at least you have to know that in some places, like in the castle, they won't let you in with pets.
Okay, yeah, that's good to know. People need maybe alternative options just in case they're traveling with pets as well. So
Yeah.
in case travelers want to order in instead, are there any food delivery apps available that they can download?
Yes. For example, Uber Eats, Bolt Eats, Glovo Eats. Actually, there are plenty of them, and they're pretty fast. So yeah, you can find this delivery application pretty easy.
Okay, yeah, that's great. What about convenience stores? Just in case travelers want to pick up a quick snack or any other travel essential.
Actually, there are many of them. In Krakow, we have so many franchise stores. Like, for example, Żabka. Żabka means frog.
Mhm.
And sometimes you can find on the same street, I don't know, 10 of such kind of shops. And easy to start. And they're like a bit modern, and you can find all necessary snacks. And many of them are open 24/7 or till late night. So it's very easy actually. You won't miss any.
Okay, and would you recommend that travelers pick up bottled water in the convenience stores, or are they able to safely drink the tap water?
It's said that in Krakow, we have one of the cleanest water in the world. So you can drink it from a tap easily.
Okay, yeah, that's a great another way to save money, I guess, while traveling there.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm. Also, you mentioned that there are some convenience stores that are 24/7. Does that
Mhm.
Are there also any healthcare facilities that travelers can visit in case there are any emergencies that are maybe also 24/7?
Yeah, in general, health service in Poland, in Krakow, is pretty good.
Mhm.
And so it won't be any problem if something happens to you in the middle of the night to get a help. You just call 112. It's like emergency number, and they speak English, fluent English, and they'll come, in no time. Usually, it like takes 10, 15 minutes, and to get you to the hospital or to police, depends on your needs. So it's pretty comfortable. Of course, there is like a private medical service as well, in the case if you want to have, something to do even quicker without waiting in line, or some like better quality service, I would say. There are plenty private companies like LuxMed, Medicover, and they also have option like 24/7,
Mhm.
but they are paid. So if you want for free, you just call 112, and it's public service, healthcare, and police. But if you want something private with additional care, yeah, you can use service of LuxMed and Medicover.
Okay, it's good to know that there are a lot of options depending on what you need.
Yeah.
Also, what about maybe more simple medication or simple painkillers or flu medicine? Are those available over the counter or without a prescription?
Yeah, most of medicine available without a prescription.
Mhm.
Only for some certain, occasions or situations, you need prescription, but in general, no, most of medicine just you can get it on the spot.
Okay, yeah. Just in case our travelers have any emergencies, it's good to know that they can find help or get their medical needs fulfilled easily. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So another thing that I think a lot of tourists will find important when they go to another country is staying connected with their loved ones. So would you recommend that travelers flying into Krakow get local SIM cards so they can stay connected?
Frankly speaking, 99% of tourists who came, they did not need any local SIM card. If you are, for example, from a European Union or from Europe, the pricing of calls almost the same. If you come from another countries, you can use like roaming options and buy certain certain option for your phone, like for additional cost. Most of tourists they just use WhatsApp, hotel Viber, Telegram, or etc. by using like Wi-Fi in the restaurant or in a public space. So in my opinion, it's pretty pointless to buy a local SIM card.
Mm.
There are like a lot of other options.
Okay, yeah. So you mentioned Wi-Fi. Is public Wi-Fi common to come across the city?
Mhm. In the city center, yeah, there is a public Wi-Fi. In every single restaurant, you can find free Wi-Fi. So tourists don't have any problem with that.
Okay, I'm sure that comes in really handy while they're traveling in case they get lost.
Yes, in this, of course, if they go somewhere at outskirts of Krakow,
Mhm.
yeah, there can be a problem. But as I said, if you are from European Union, or if you use special options of roaming, like for additional, let's say 10 euros, you have access to internet, so it won't be any problem.
Mhm.
And I've never had this situation that someone had problem to connect, to contact me, and etc. So in Krakow, it's pretty easy.
Okay, yeah. That does sound really convenient. So another
Yeah.
thing I think is important to touch on is whether or not a local transaction should be in cash or credit card. Is one better than the other in the city?
Actually, this is a very good question. I remember around 6 years ago, I went to Holland and I wanted to pay in cash. And so they said, sorry, we don't accept cash. And they're like, what? Only cards? In Krakow and in Poland, in turn, it's also pretty convenient. In almost every place, you can pay by cash and by card. If you go
Mhm.
to restaurant, souvenir shops, you can pay by cash, by card. There's just one small exception. When you go to a local food market, that one I've mentioned next to Old Town,
Yeah.
where people like locals come bringing their food from home. So most of them don't have terminal and option to pay by card. So in this case, you would need to have cash.
Mhm.
But if you go to touristic places, restaurants, museums, some souvenir shops, etc., so it's enough to have just a card.
Okay, yeah. Also, just in case travelers want to get some cash so they can go to the local market, where would they find the best exchange rates in Krakow?
Right next to Old Town and Jewish Quarter, there are like two shopping malls. One
Mhm.
of them is called Galeria Krakowska or shopping mall Koska, and the second one, Galeria Kazimierz, which is next to Jewish Quarter. And these malls, they're like outside the touristic area, and they have a better exchange rate, and they don't scam people because in the city center, in touristic areas, some of the exchange points scam people. Which way? For example, you see exchange rate and it's pretty high, and you think, "Oh wow, nice, let's exchange money." And then when you exchange, they give you less, and you're wondering why. And then they show you like somewhere at the bottom, very small price which states that this exchange rate applies only when you exchange like 20,000 euros.
Mhm.
So only to this amount, and people feel scammed. So the best way to exchange to shopping malls, Galeria Krakowska and Galeria Kazimierz, which are right next to Old Town and Church. It's more safe and exchange rate is pretty good.
Okay, yeah, that's a really great tip for any travelers going into the city. Yeah, just so they can avoid any scams like that.
Yeah, especially if you come to Krakow from airport using a train. This train goes to the train station, and to this shopping mall, Galeria Krakowska train station, they're in the same building. So
Mhm.
basically, you go out, you can exchange money, you have cash, and you have nothing to worry about.
Okay, yeah. And aside from that, are there any other common scams that travelers should watch out for?
Mm, yes, one scam, and does not like it actually collect the scams.
Mm.
It's some people who are asking for charity. They have, especially in the Old Town area, the main market square, you can find people who dress really nice, wearing, shorts, trousers, and so they have a box with a photo of children,
Uh-huh.
and they ask for donation to donate money. And yeah, you can donate, but the thing is, only 1% of this donation comes to children. The
Mm.
rest of them comes to their pocket. So this company is officially legal because yes, they collection money, for charity purposes, but only 1% of it goes to children. The rest, they take half or like 49% for themselves, and another 50% for their boss. So it's like a sort of legal mafia.
Uh-huh. I see. Yeah, I guess that's something we all have to watch out for in case we're traveling into the city.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
So apart from these scams, would you say that Krakow is safe for solo travelers or maybe female travelers?
Yes, Krakow, in my opinion, is one of the safest cities to live and to stay, to visit, probably even in the world.
Mhm.
Uh, it's a very clean city. It's very lighted up city, so a lot of lights. Unemployment in Krakow is only 3%.
Mhm.
So it's pretty easy to find a job, and you won't find, poverty. And if in the case if someone is poor or alcoholic, there are plenty of centers which take care of such kind of people. Yes, I've never met anyone who felt, dangerous, uncomfortable,
Mhm.
unsafe. Now, Krakow is pretty safe, very clean, lighted up, good public transportation, not so many criminals, and unemployment rate is pretty low.
Yeah, it sounds like a great city to visit. I'm sure our travelers are already booking their tickets to get there.
Yes, yes, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So when they come, is there anything like any medication or other items that they should not bring into the city or into the country even?
Of course, I don't know about all these medications, but from what I know, it's about ingredients this medication have, like a psychotropic, narcotic. But you have to check it individually because every medicine is different. And in some countries, there is like this medicine comes with a prescription. In other countries, without. So it's better to check if you have like some medication you're not sure about. Better to check. Also, there are like limits in terms of packages. You can bring only up to 5 packages of your medicine. So you can't, bring with you like 10 packages of your medicine, or only 5.
Okay, yeah. And what about essential items that travelers should bring with them while they travel into the city? Is there anything like that you recommend?
Yeah, just their mobile phones to take as many photos as they can. Because, I can't mention any particular thing or item that you have to bring. No, we don't have many pickpockets, so probably almost no one. And there is no need to have special like a special bag which way can keep your passport, money. So no need. Also, I think depends on the weather as well because in Poland you can experience all types of weather. In winter it's very cold, and
Mhm.
what I recommend usually I have it with me, but if the group is big, it's better to buy some warming packages. So basically, you just put it into your gloves or shoes, and they warm you during the whole tour. Because very often people think, 3 hours of tour, it's nothing. I'll make it in winter, but and the temperature can be around the 10, sometimes 20 below zero, and 3 hours spent outside, it's a lot. And in this case, I would recommend you to bring some warming, bags or packages to warm you up in winter. But for the rest, there is no like something I would advise.
Okay, so you mentioned winter. Would you recommend that travelers visit Krakow during the winter, or is there a better time in the year?
Mm, I would not say so because first of all, in winter we have a beautiful Christmas market.
Mhm.
Also snow. Not many countries have snow, and it's like a fairy tale. And second, prices are cheaper compared to the rest of the year.
Mhm.
Then next to Krakow, there are beautiful Tatra Mountains with ski resorts, and it's like just 1.5 hour far from Krakow. So there are plenty of like places to come to Krakow in winter. But if you don't want to feel cold, to wear so many things, the best time, in my opinion, it's to come in May and in October.
Okay, yeah. Are those the spring or the summer?
So basically, May is like the beginning of high season,
Mhm.
but still, the city is not overcrowded and prices are good. Weather is amazing, around 20 degrees. And October, it's the end of high season,
Uh-huh.
and leaves start to fall, and there are very beautiful landscape, and also prices go down because the end of high season. So this is like the best month, in my opinion, May and October to come to Krakow.
Okay, yeah. I'm sure that's something we need to take note of, just so we don't miss the beautiful fall or the summer or even the winter actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned a high season. All right. So, for attractions, if you're visiting during the high season, should travelers buy passes in advance, either for attractions or for transportation?
Yes, if it comes to transportation and reservations in the restaurant, no, just in terms of restaurants, 1 day is enough. In terms of transportation, there is no problem. You can book it the same day. Main problem is with one thing, Auschwitz. Auschwitz, like Museum of Concentration Camp of Auschwitz. This is like the biggest concentration camp in the history of mankind. 1.6 billion people died there. So sometimes you have to book tickets to Auschwitz 1 month in advance because there are so many people who go there. Like every year, 2 million people go to Auschwitz in
Mhm.
1 year.
Yeah.
So what I recommend people, if they want to have like full experience and to visit Auschwitz concentration camp museum, better to book it in advance, at least 1 month in advance.
Yeah, that's a great tip. I'm sure a lot of our viewers would want to go there.
Yeah, and of course, if it comes to high season, in low season, you can book it like a few days in advance, so it's not a big deal. But in high season, 1 month in advance.
Okay. Well, speaking of the attractions that we can see in Krakow, are there any dress codes that travelers should take note of before they go? Maybe in the concentration camp, is there any dress code or in other attraction?
Mine, I recommend the salt mines to visit. You go underneath, it's like city, basically like the separate city made of salt. They have church made of salt, some places to eat, and it's amazing. And actually, it's on the list of UNESCO. These salt mines. What else? Mm, Schindler's Factory.
Mm,
Many people know Oscar Schindler from the movie The Schindler's List, which is
mm,
like one of the top 10 movies in the history of cinematography uh, um, by Steven Spielberg. And there is like the factory, the museum where you can learn history of Jews, the war. So highly recommend you this museum, The Schindler's Factory. Also next to Jewish Quarter, there's beautiful viewing point over the whole city. It's called Krakow Sound,
mm.
and you can go there, have some wine and enjoy the view over Old Town, Jewish Quarter, and over the whole city. So a really cool place.
Mhm. Oh, would you say that these are family-friendly attractions?
Yes, yes. Of course, maybe not Schindler's Factory because it shows very sad history of Krakow and the Holocaust and Jewish ghetto. So maybe not for family with kids. For them, it can be too much.
Mm,
The same about Auschwitz, but other things like salt mines, this Krakow's burial mound, also underground museum, they are family friendly and good place to visit.
mhm. Okay. Are there any activities or attractions that are particularly suitable for senior citizens?
Yeah, I would say this underground museum. It's right in the middle of the old town underneath, and it's adapted for seniors, and it's pretty interactive museum, and the seniors love it. And what else? Wavel Castle, also good place where many seniors go to drink some coffee, tea, can visit private royal apartment. So these places, underground museum and Wavel Castle, they're pretty comfortable, convenient for seniors.
Okay. And what about for more adventurous travelers or travelers who want more of a thrill? Are there any attractions that they should seek out?
Yeah, there is like one right in the center of Old Town.
Mm,
It's axe throwing. So this is like one of the options for people who are seeking some adventure. So you
mhm,
can go to the place to throw axes. Sometimes it can be pretty dangerous because the axes can bounce off from the wall, from the aim, and go right into you, and you have to avoid it to show your agility, let's say. Another thing is shorten range. We can go to certain area, which is like 15 minutes far from the city center, and to try different types of guns, including a shotgun, a sniper gun, etc. So it's pretty thrilling. And people who are seeking adventures, they would like it for sure.
Yeah. Would you know the names of these attractions just so travelers can look them up and go?
Yeah, actually, they're just called axe throwing,
Mhm.
and the second one, shooting range.
Okay, yeah. That's great to know. What about any religious sites or monuments in the city?
Obviously, you have to, yeah, for sure, you have to visit Wawel Cathedral,
Mhm.
which is located in the castle. And Wawel Cathedral is the most important place in the whole Poland because this is the place where almost every Polish king was crowned and buried, where all bishops were intronized. And this is like a mecca for Catholics or like Westminster Abbey for Brits. So
Mhm.
the place where king crowned, buried, and bishop were intronized. So it's like history of Poland in one building. So a really important place. What else? I recommend to visit Basilica of Saint Francis, which
Mm.
is also located in the old town, to admire beautiful stained glass windows from the 19th century, like huge and beautiful windows, and St. Mary's Basilica. St. Mary's Basilica is located at the main market square, and it has the biggest altar in whole Europe, 13 meters high and 11 meters wide. And it took like 12 years to make this altar. So it's a true masterpiece, and highly recommend you to visit this church. So basically, Val Cathedral, St. Franciscan Basilica, and St. Mary's Basilica. These are three things to visit in Krakow.
Yeah, they sound like great places to visit. And when travelers do go there, should they be wearing anything specific? Are there any dress codes that they should note?
Uh, if it comes to women, they have to take off their hat when they get in. In non-touristic churches, people have to wear like modest clothes to cover their shoulders, legs. But in touristic places, especially in summer when it's so hot, tolerate like just short and mm, t-shirts without sleeves. So yes, so depends on the church. In the city center, there is no problem. But if you want to visit the church somewhere like outside of Old Town, you have to dress up modestly to cover all parts of your body.
Okay. So you've given a lot of really great attractions that I'm sure need to be on any itinerary into the
Yeah.
city. But are there any hidden gems that maybe tourists don't really know about, but they should visit?
Yeah. For example, around 15 minutes far from the city center, and there is like former quarry where they make the beautiful artificial lake with swimming pools there. You can go there to swim, to admire beautiful nature, to eat something. It's a really cool place. Also, a place called Forum, and it's only 10 minutes far from the castle, like on the other side of Wisla River. And this is like a former communist hotel where they made like hipsters area full of restaurants, some attractions, and you can go there to eat, drink something, and enjoy beautiful view over the river, over the castle. So a really cool place. And yeah, so I would recommend these two places to visit. Quarry, actually it's called Zakrzówek in Polish, and Forum, this hipster's place.
Okay. So while we're talking about, hidden gems, local favorites, are there any places where you think that both locals and tourists would enjoy?
Mhm. I would say Jewish quarter, because most of the people, they come to Krakow to see Old Town, Babel Castle, then to go to Auschwitz, salt mines. It's like what they usually do. And Jewish quarter this is the place where locals and some tourists meet. Compared to Old Town, Jewish quarter doesn't have any, international trademarks, no McDonald's, no KFC, no Starbucks, just local restaurants, local shops. So locals like to go there to eat, to drink. Compared to Old Town, prices are way cheaper, and the atmosphere there is pretty nice. So uh, some tourists go there as well. So it's a really good place where locals and tourists spend time together in Jewish quarter.
Yeah. Okay, so there is a lot to see in Krakow. So how long would you recommend that a traveler stay in the city just so they can get the full experience?
In my opinion, 4 days is a good minimum. First day to visit the old town with the castle. The second day to visit the Jewish quarter and the former Jewish ghetto. One day to go to Auschwitz concentration camp because it's 1.5 hour walk far from Krakow, and it takes usually 7 hours, to go there, to do the tour, and to come back. The whole day basically. First day you can do salt mines, half a day. Then the rest of the day you can visit museums in the Krakow, like underground museum, a factory, or a few more. Actually, there are like 100 museums in Krakow, a lot.
Mhm.
And yeah, so this like 4 days. Yeah, 4 days is like a good minimum.
Okay, and I'm sure once people visit the city, they'll want to take home some souvenirs with them. So are there any local favorites for souvenirs that you would recommend?
Yes, first of all, amber.
Mhm.
Amber is the amber jewelry. Compared to other countries in Poland, amber is very cheap, and you can buy a really nice jewelry, some necklaces, etc. for people you love, or maybe for yourself. You also have to love yourself. So amber jewelry, then dragon toys or dragon souvenirs, because the dragon is an official symbol of Krakow.
Mm.
The real dragon used to live under the castle. So if you have some kids or kids so buy dragon toys. And also vodka. Maybe there is someone who like to drink alcohol and collection, such kind of things. So bring vodka. And in Poland, there are hundreds types of vodka. I recommend to bring Chopin, named after a very famous Polish composer, Frederick Chopin, and it has really nice package. So connoisseurs or people who love, drink good alcohol, it will be a very good present. And also pottery. In Poland, there is a town called Bolesławiec, where they make good quality pottery and ceramics. So you can buy there, some plates, some sets, cups, etc. And it will be a very good present. In Poland, for example, if there is a marriage, it's like one of must have presents to give this pottery called Bolesławiec. So basically, these are four things: dragon toys, good quality vodka, and pottery called Bolesławiec.
Yeah, those are all really interesting. But I think the dragon fact might be my favorite one. I think that's something I definitely want out. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Also, where are the best places in the city to pick up any of those souvenirs?
The thing is, all the souvenirs are in the city center. So you won't find, some souvenir shops outside of touristic area. Doesn't make any sense. So if I was like you, I would just visit a few shops and compare price. Sometimes they have good discounts, and you can buy like a very good price souvenirs. Maybe one place to avoid, right in the middle of the main market square, there is like a souvenir stalls, and the price per rent is so high, so that's why souvenirs are also pretty expensive. So maybe it's better to buy souvenirs outside of main market square in Old Town.
Oh,
Because the rent price is so high. In the rest of Old Town, you can buy affordable souvenirs pretty easy.
okay. And when people are shopping for souvenirs, is it common for people to bargain in the city or haggle for lower prices?
In the souvenir shops, it's not common. The price already fixed. But when you go, for example, to the place, like I said, in the middle of main market square, there's like stalls around, I don't know, 40, maybe 50 of small shops, small stalls, and so they can bargain. So
Oh,
it's like a market, so they can bargain, but in physical shops with fixed prices, you can't.
okay. Yeah. That's a great thing to take note of as well. Yeah. So what about those travelers who are looking for maybe more branded items? Are there any great shopping malls or outlet malls that you would recommend?
Yeah, actually, I already mentioned them. Shopping mall, Galeria Krakowska. We can exchange money for very good exchange rate, which is right next in the train station already. Basically in the same building where it's train station. And the second one, Kazimierz, which
Mhm.
is next for Jewish quarter. So in these places, you can find like, these like really good shopping malls with diversity of goods.
Okay, yeah. So we're winding down now on the interview. Before we end, though, I just want to ask about the neighborhoods and the city. So, are there any neighborhoods in particular that are known for their nightlife or their event?
Jewish quarter, for sure, it is the center of nightlife. Mm, if it comes to events, the whole city actually.
Mhm.
Krakow is famous of events. For example, every year, Jewish Culture Festival takes place in Jewish quarter. Then we have a parade of dragon on the river, and uh, it's impossible to find, empty spot. People come to book a spot 5, 6 hours in advance. Then we have a really nice festival of cinema music,
Mhm.
which takes place in like in different parts of Krakow. What else? Actually, last week there was a nice festival called Bianca. It comes from pagan times, like more than 1,000 years ago. Women wear flower crown, throw them into the river, and there are concerts all over the city till 4, 5 a.m. So plenty of festivals, plenty of events, and
Mhm.
nightlife. It's mostly Jewish quarter, I would say.
Yeah, and in the Jewish quarter, are there mostly bars for the nightlife, or what kind of scene is that?
Yeah, there are plenty of bars, and some of them are open till 5, 6 a.m. So no one will have a problem to find a bar there. And many of them, they're like, hipsters bars in old style. So this is really cool place to come to get drunk. And then also there are like a lot of street food.
Mhm.
And when you come there at 2, 3 a.m., you'll find plenty of people hanging out in Jewish quarter. So cool place.
Okay, yeah, it does sound like a cool place. So let's say
Yeah.
at the end of the day, the traveler is coming home to rest. Where would you say is the best place to stay if they want an accommodation with a view?
Actually, for Old Town or Jewish quarter, my favorite place, I would say it's Old Town, especially such hotels as Cossack
Mhm.
and Sheraton. They're located right next to the Wisla River with a beautiful view over the river and Pavel Castle. So, this is a really cool place to stay. Yeah, so these are two places, Cossack and Sheraton Hotel.
Okay. And what area would be the best for traveling families, couples, or solo travelers?
Old Town and Jewish quarter. But like in every city, if there is a hotel located in a touristic area, the price is usually higher.
Uh-huh.
So if I was you, I would book some hotel a little bit like outside of Old Town or Jewish Quarter, and the price can be almost twice cheaper, but right next to Jewish Quarter and Old Town, so you can save money.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay, that sounds great. What
yeah.
about for food spots? Any foodies watching out there, which neighborhoods offer the best food options in the city?
Mm-hmm. Again, Old Town and the Jewish Quarter,
Mhm.
and also the place Santa Culta Forum. Not many tourists know about it. The place are full of different restaurants and pubs and like street food, so you can find the things. So basically, Old Town, Jewish Quarter, and Forum. These are three places where it is like a paradise for foodies.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic of restaurants, I also wanted to ask whether tipping is a customary thing in Poland.
Not like customary, but most of the people I would say do it. I personally tip every time. The tip is 10% usually.
Okay.
So now I would say that Polish people, they don't have, not all of them have in a culture, they tip in, to tip, but all restaurants in Krakow, they are used to be tipped by tourists. So
Mm.
basically, when you go somewhere to eat, the waiter would expect that you would give him a tip. It's not like compulsory, like in United States, for example, but they're like basically spoiled by tourists, and they're waiting to be tipped, and it's 10% of the bill.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a great thing to keep in mind as well, while people are traveling, just to make sure that they're respecting, the local culture, the local norms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, Eugene, that concludes our interview today. You've given us a lot of very valuable information about Krakow and Poland in general. So thank you so much for your time and your expertise as well. I'm sure our viewers learned a lot of things and they're probably rushing to add all the attractions you mentioned to their itinerary.
For me, it has been pleasure to share all this knowledge I have, and just come to Krakow to explore the beauty and the magic of each, try all these foodie spots, to go to these different museums, to try attraction. And yeah, for sure you will like Krakow, and I believe that it will be a second home.
Yeah. Okay. Bye. Thanks, Eugene.
See you. Bye.